بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to episode 2 of the series, The Beautiful Du'as. In this episode we'll take a very beautiful dua from the authentic sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And this is a very important dua. If you want to be protected from anything bad, any harm that might happen to you, you should say this dua 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening. Then by the will of Allah, Allah will protect you from anything bad, from any harm. As the Prophet ﷺ tells us that no person says this dua every morning and every evening, and he said 3 times. So whoever says this 3 times, the dua is Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'u al-alim. Again, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'u al-alim. So saying that 3 times. And again, the meaning of that is very briefly, Bismillah alladhi, in the name of Allah, the one who, with his name, nothing can harm us. Nothing causes harm on earth or in the sky. So nothing can cause harm when you mention Allah's name, and with the belief that you're seeking the help and protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing can cause us harm except by the will of Allah. So you're saying this dua in the name of Allah, but you have that belief that Allah is the one who protects, that nothing can cause us harm except by the will of Allah. فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ, and He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears everything and knows everything. Again, emphasizing our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beautiful names and attributes, and affirming those attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as is befitting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has the most beautiful names and attributes. So whoever says this dua 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening, then nothing will harm him. As the Prophet ﷺ is telling us, nothing will harm him. And again, that dua is Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'u al-alim, 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening, to protect you from any harm, from anything evil or bad, or any harm. Again, it's very comprehensive. That's the this is the beauty of the du'as from the Quran and authentic sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, is that they are very concise yet very encompassing. So if you make this a habit and you incorporate this very brief du'a in your routine in the morning, in the evening, 3 times, you're protected, you're covered. SubhanAllah, I mean, people, go out of their way, do all kinds of stuff to get protection from things, and this very beautiful, very simple, very concise, easy to say dua, just 3 times this short dua in the morning and in the evening, it protects you from everything bad, from any harm. Nothing will harm you by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And, SubhanAllah, of course, I mean, our belief, the sound belief has to be there with that dua. When we make dua, it's based on our strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in our iman in Allah, that nothing can harm us except by the will of Allah. Now, what's interesting, part of the story of that hadith, which includes that dua, is the one who's narrating it from Uthman radiallahu anhu, narrated this hadith from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, this dua, and Aban rahimahullah narrated that from Uthman radiallahu anhu. So from the tabi'een, Aban narrated this from Uthman, who narrated from the Prophet ﷺ. So the man who was hearing it from Aban, the person who was hearing it from Aban, was looking at Aban. Why? Because Aban was inflicted with fالج. Fالج is a type of paralysis. So basically he was paralyzed. Some of his limbs were paralyzed. He couldn't move some of his limbs. So that man who was hearing this hadith from Aban started looking at him, kind of in a I don't know, disbelieving way, or unusual way, or in an awkward way. So Aban said, "What are you looking at?" as for the hadith, it is as I have narrated to you. But it happened, so again, this man is looking at Aban, that you're narrating this hadith, that if you say it 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening, this dua, you'll be protected from any harm. Nothing can happen, nothing bad can happen to you. And yet, he's looking at him and he sees him paralyzed, or partially paralyzed. So he's looking at him in a strange way, as in, there's kind of a discrepancy there, it seems, between the hadith that he's narrating and what happened to him. Hey, if this hadith, this dua indeed protects you from any harm, well, what happened to you? So Aban said, indeed, the hadith is how I narrated to you. Meaning, this is correct, this is true. It is how I narrated it to you. But it happened that the day that this happened, that I didn't say it that day. It happened that I didn't say it that day. He forgot to say it on that day. And he ended up being inflicted with, being paralyzed partially. And then he said, so that Allah may, the qadr of Allah may pass upon him. Again, it shows you that at the end of the day, what Allah has decreed for us will come to happen. In this case, again, his habit, Aban's habit, was to say this dua 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening every day. But it happened that that day he forgot to say it, and so the day that he was inflicted with paralysis, became paralyzed. He forgot to say that dua, and so again, part of the qadr of Allah that he would forget saying that dua and then be inflicted with that illness. But again, as believers, we also believe that nothing happens to us except by the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that dua, going back to that beautiful dua, make it a habit, incorporate it in your daily routine, make it a habit to say 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay' fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa as-sami'ul 'alim. Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay' fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa as-sami'ul 'alim. Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay' fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa as-sami'ul 'alim. 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. Allah will protect you from any harm, and anything that might harm you, you will be protected. Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khairan, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.